Hey everybody, what's going on? King of Chaos here with the boss man, Joey B. And we welcome you once again, as always, every week for our Thursday live Q&A, jam sesh, whatever you want to call it. Thank you so much once again for joining us. If you're hopping into this right at the get-go, feel free to go right ahead and share this. And then as we progress, go ahead, ask questions, leave some comments, whatever you got going on, be interactive. The more you interact with us, the better it is for everybody. How are you doing, Grandpa?
Doing pretty good.
Grandpa Bellini over here. Great to see everybody coming on in. So yeah, what's going on? Scotty Cerriti almost killed me just trying to pronounce your fucking name. Anyway, I had mentioned last week that this week, our topic at hand would be the worst matches that we were personally involved in. Telling stories about absolutely god-awful wrestling matches that we wrestled in. Joey's going to have a lot to talk about today. Let's go and Sharon. What's going on, Peter? Everybody come on in. Go ahead and share this. Make this interactive. We're going to be talking about bad wrestling that we witnessed and were part of firsthand.
Oh, you don't have to be involved in the match, you're saying?
You have to be involved in it.
Okay.
But also, we're probably going to talk about some of the shitty Gleason matches, just because I'm sure they're going to come up. The Circle of Trust, Trust is Trust,
I don't remember seeing that.
I was there.
I remember hearing about it.
I was there for it, and I remember L. Shoes was so excited for it because it was just the worst fucking idea ever. It literally, I'm convinced Johnny Rods put this fucking match together. He was like, oh,
he's drunk.
We're going to call this match a Circle of Trust match. But then, trust is, and he starts going in on everything.
And this guy breaks the trust, baby, and then you got heat.
You gotta tag in to become the trust. And as he's writing all this, it's literally someone just writing it down, and then that's the name of the fucking match. The name of the match is a fucking paragraph long. It was the greatest thing ever.
Is that as bad as the match that Kaplan had that time? Remember he had me
Which
and
one?
Jay Reynolds against Luna Spartan in the woodshed, bring your fucking whips and chains.
Yeah, the woodshed match, which nobody had a fucking clue what it was. Also, Lou was involved, so it's probably dog shit.
He's not my worst matches in anywhere. I gotta say, I've wrestled Lou a few times.
What's going on, John? How you doing? All right, go ahead and start, boss. I'll hop in with some of my worst matches.
Worst matches.
Worst match you were
worst
that you were involved in. Then we'll get to just Gleason's matches that we were witness to.
Bruiser.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they were rough. They were hard on me. And I remember Jay used to come in the back and be like, he's reckless. He's like, it's rough, and he's not a bad guy. He's just not a good wrestler. Johnny Fever. Again,
Brooklyn Johnny Fever.
Good guy. Very nice guy. Comes from a good family, just not a good wrestler.
October 13th is the next show. It's going to be a massive one. Titles vs. careers, AOC versus SOV. I mean, can you give a specific match that stands out to you as your worst?
I probably could, but so the match with Fever. Yeah, I can. Well, maybe not the worst, but one of them. It was me and Red Young.
Oh boy, it's already great. Joey B in diaper red.
I don't know if it was me, Red Young, and Bobby, or me and Red Young against Bo Booger J.
Bo Booger J. What a fun! What a fucking wrestling name right there. Were you Joey the Italian B at this point?
Yes.
So, picture this, ladies and gentlemen. Joey the Italian
B.
B
Too, if you want.
And Red Young, who was a chubby, redheaded guy who was a little bit slow, who dressed like Apollo Creed in the Rocky Goes to Russia movie, and thought he was Chris Candido against...
He wore a shower curtain.
And wore shower curtain versus Brooklyn Johnny Fever, who didn't have wrestling gear.
And a singlet.
I don't remember that.
No, he did. He had a singlet.
And a guy named Bo Booger J.
Yes, he wrestled in a mask. He was Bo Booger J, then became Black Panther. He was around when I first started. I don't remember much about him, but yeah, that was rough. I don't know if I still have that on VHS, but that was rough. Anytime, and again, I feel bad because Johnny Fever was such a good guy, but he was just so hard to control. And it was him and Holker versus me and BA, and that match was good because, not good. Excuse, I shouldn't say that. It wasn't the worst match because me and BA gelled. They threw us together and we did all right. But God, anytime Johnny Fever got in the ring, it was It was bad. I remember you could ask Hulko. Hulko's like, oh, the only guy we never brought the words is Johnny Fever. I'm like, you want to wrestle him? He's like, no. I'm like, yeah, okay. I remember Hulko used to have to wrestle this guy all the time, and I felt so bad for him. Horrible.
2 on Tim. Yeah, that sounds pretty bad. Ladies and gentlemen, at some point...
I gotta find... You've seen a lot of these videos.
I have. At some point, I gotta sit down, and Joe and I have to live stream us watching, like, the best of the worst Gleason's matches. And give you, like, a full hour of this.
But there's so much worse than what I'm saying.
Dude, fucking...
So much worse.
Watching the fucking Bobby G. Red Young matches.
Oh, that's online.
Is it online?
That's up. Oh, yeah.
Maybe next week... we can't watch...
I'll post that later today.
Maybe next week we'll do a live stream for everybody. We'll post it throughout the week where... We'll watch the match and do commentary as we drive. I mean, I'll be watching it and do it. Joe won't be watching, but he can give us the insight on things. And we can all kind of watch it together.
The guy that did the black, not the black scorpion, but the black something. He used to play the banjo, or make-believe banjo in his chest because I think he had a nervous condition.
You're just naming shitty people. I just want shitty matches. All right.
Oh, but trust me, he wrestled the overweight referee. And it was, these tapes, we got to bring them out.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, some of these are pretty terrible. Maybe we'll watch that Red Young Bobby G match, because it is a fucking doozy.
I might post that tonight.
Post it tonight, and then next week we will post it before we review it, so that we can all hit play at the same time.
Okay.
And everybody can watch it. We'll do it similar to how what happened when with what's his face? Tony Schiavone, and my buddies in Off the Hop Rope do the same thing when they review a match and they tell you when to start it. That's a really good podcast.
So anyway, back to these bad matches. I guess I'm gonna be the butt of these ones. You know what, at Gleason's, I always got like Damien or Boogaloo or the Musketeer, so I got to wrestle the decent guys. But there was times where I was stuck with Bruiser or Johnny Fever and the Pit Dog. The Pit Dog, that fucking lawn gnome, or Cheetah. It was just like, it was hard sometimes. In Warriors, the Pit Dog looked like a guy, literally looked like you plucked him off your fucking lawn. Yeah,
looked like a lawn.
Looked like a gnome, yeah. His girlfriend used to come to the shows, and she was like 4 times the size of him, and she had one arm that was like half the size of the other. It was just
whoa,
it was like a fucking freak show.
My strong arm. That's terrible. I'm sorry. I'm not that bad of a person to do that. Sorry, guys. So let's go into my worst match ever. This is one that I told the story in the.
Wait, I just chimed in. When Rock and Rebel used to have that Black World Wrestling Company in Phoenixville, PA, yeah. I went there with the Voice and All Star Lou in the 3-way.
Oh, that was a shit fest. Huh. I was there for that.
Were you there for that?
I was there. I watched it. That was fucking absolute AIDS. That was a terrible fucking match.
Think fucking wrestling.
That was terrible.
Oh, God.
Because you're not a fan of calling shit, and in a 3-way you gotta.
But Lou didn't listen to anything. I remember the voice came in the back, so I was yelling at Lou. With me, you have to just put me places. Tell me something, I'm fine. I heard he was so bad that he was selling 30 tickets to wrestle for House of Glory, and they didn't give a fuck. They said, please. I don't care if you sell 3,000 tickets. Don't come back here ever again.
Yeah, I don't know, Lou. Whatever. So, my worst match ever happened at the Sanctuary in Pennsylvania.
You went over this match last week.
Did I go over this match last week? Oh, yeah. All right. So then that was what set up this whole thing by talking about bad matches.
Worst Warriors match.
My worst Warriors matches? So I wasn't involved in this one. But I have to. He's a good friend of mine who you got to book the guy again.
Oh.
He's a fucking vet. You should do. He's wrestling for 15 years at this point. The worst match I've ever seen.
30 years at this point.
No, it's still 15. 9 years later, it's still 15 year. Poor El Muskie. El Muskie was a guy for a long time. Again, good friend of mine. He's stuck in Paris, Connecticut at this point because he can't get booked anywhere else. The guy wrestled against a little-known wrestler, and by little-known, I mean...
Not known.
Unknown.
Unknown.
Guy known as Frankie Love.
Oh, God.
I'm not going to get into the entire... Sedane says, Sonny Kiss versus Al Snow.
That wasn't just a long match.
It was not good.
But they both know what they're doing.
Right, but Still, Muskie's a hell of a fucking talent.
And Frankie Love isn't, though.
Right.
Frankie wasn't as heavy as he is now either.
So let's go through it. So it was Frankie Love and my buddy Al Muskie, and I'm not going to get into the details of like anything related to like why this guy who was untrained was on our show, but it was a pre-show match. We were pretty much giving this guy charity.
It was, well, the details was that he was a friend of the guy that you're doing the charity event for, and I felt bad, and I said, listen, let's make the kid.
So the guy dressed like a wrestler.
He was trained. He wasn't.
And we asked him if he was trained, and he said yes. So he said he was trained, and we said we'll put him against Muskie, whatever. Muskie will do the JOB for anybody. Again, this is all secondhand from Muskie. If we want to get Muskie on the show to discuss things at some point, we could maybe he'll take Metro North down to talk to us. But Muskie told me flat out that he was calling the match, and he goes, "Oh, what do you do?" And the guy's like, "Oh, I haven't wrestled in a long time." I was like, "Okay, why don't you beat me Hogan style? Give me a big boot." Can't do a big boot. Okay, give me a big clothesline, then hit the ropes. Give me a big Hogan leg drop. Can't do a leg drop. Okay, give me a big splash. Can't do a big splash. Can you do an elbow drop? Maybe. All right. See you out there, kid. And it was the worst match, I think, in the history of the company.
I was in a bad mood to begin with, and I'm just sitting at the front door, peeking in, peeking out, and I see the locker rooms watching the match. I didn't want to be bothered.
Oh, man, we're getting... Juba and Heidenreich is being brought up.
That was bad.
That was a fucking sheet fest. But I don't blame Juba on that one. When you lock up with the guy and he fucking, is, a can of corn or something like that. They was talking about food in the lockup. I've had 2 bad yard matches within the same day. It's fucking backyard. That's supposed to be bad. Let me back up. Not that it was such a horrible match, but it went way too long. Yeah, it makes sense. Scotty Cerriti is telling us Colossus and Metal Maniac versus Gino Caruso and Greg Valentine. That sounds like an absolute shitfest.
Yeah, I would agree.
So now that we've talked about...
Maniac is a fucking idiot.
Now we've talked about some of the worst matches that we've ever either seen at Words or been involved in personally. Because I know I told the story last week. Let's get into the worst of Gleason's matches. What is the worst Gleason's match you've ever seen?
I'm sure I'm missing something because my memory isn't as good as used to. But
I think nothing is going to fucking...
I'm going to bring up the guy that played the banjo on his chest against the referee. And if I have to prove that to you, I'll go dig up that tape and I'll post it. But that was bad.
What about
Oh, you gotta sit here and say Red and Bobby was bad. I totally agree with you. But you gotta see some of the shit that, Jake. There's some horrid stuff.
I've watched them. I've watched.
You'll
these
say
things.
Red and Bobby because Bobby G was international champion and it was on a main show. But my God, when they did stuff for Gleason's. Wow.
Oh, jeez. I almost dropped the phone there.
Like,
sorry.
even now, you look like that big Puma guy. Horrible. The guy that got his pants pulled down on the fucking...
Oh, my God. That was another great one. That one's on YouTube?
I've seen it, so I guess you're saying...
That was on YouTube. They go in for a lockup. The guy drops to his knees and pulls the other guy's pants down. He ain't wearing any underwear. His dick is out there for everyone to see.
And just watch anything from Gleason's. It's just bad. Real bad.
So, one of the worst matches I've ever seen, there's 2 that I'm going to mention. One is, I think we brought it up before, but we haven't gotten details. The money grab match. So the money grab match, the entire... Hold on, I'm trying to see what you're saying, Scotty, but it's coming to me. It's not letting me see more.
I don't think I can see it on mine.
Yeah, no, it's... Maybe if I turn it this way, rotate your phone. I'm not going to do that. Fuck that noise. So just... Scotty, if you're going to write anything, give it to me in, 5-word fragments and multiple fucking... message. Anyway, the money grab match. So they hung up a bag of money on a pole in opposing corners, and there were 2 different teams of people. And every time you were able to touch your bag, somebody from your team could come in. Samantha Starr versus Renee Michelle. Now, Renee's pretty good. I've never seen Samantha Starr.
Where was that?
I don't know, where was that, Scotty? Anyway, so you touch your bag. Which sounds perverted. Touch your bag. Touch your bag, and somebody from your team comes in. And the whole goal is to get everybody from your team in. You eliminate everybody from the other team. except the fact that it was then announced as every man for himself, which is weird when you've got